This is sweeter than the last time that we got.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Is there a different brand of this or what? How can we?
Just different farms.
So how can we know that we are getting same?
We don't, unless there's a tag on it. Sometimes they'll put a little sticker on it. Tell you where it comes from. I think what's fixing to happen though is a lot of these probably come from California or Mexico. If they come from Mexico, we're going to be paying if we want it. How's the burger the second time?
So good. Can I try? Okay, so this is the best.
It is?
If you would get me a burger,
It
you
would
want
be
me to
that.
get this, yeah. Double burger.
Yeah, Whataburger was something I really didn't like when I was in Texas. They were everywhere in Texas, but I had never seen them over here. They just opened that one maybe a year ago because we didn't have one over here.
So you don't really like Whataburger?
Nah, I don't.
But you still eat it.
I really don't. I'd rather have Sonic.
And why did you bring me to Whataburger was that the first time?
I don't know.
You just want me to try it. Well, Whataburger is better than Jollibee in the Philippines.
Jollibee, that's a joke.
Manyaon ta. So tomorrow we're gonna have fish. Yes.
But just be warned, those burgers will put the weight on you. Now don't stop eating it because I said that.
No. I'm gonna.
Just be aware.
I'm aware, fully aware.
Fast food, it'll do it to you.
I
We already
know.
know that thing's about 1,700 calories, I think. But you're young, your metabolism is like a bomb.
It's a bomb.
A bomb.
Well, this would be my. Did I have breakfast today? Yeah, I did. So this would be my lunch and dinner. So yeah, I'm good for the whole day. cheese, potato cheese. Okay. Mm-hmm. Kalame. I'm gonna do my feet today.
You're gonna what?
What's that? Oh, my feet.
I had to dump it out. Rinse it out.
Oh, okay. How was it? Your foot, your feet.
Good.
Good.
Perfect.
Mouth closed, please, when showing. Yeah, I know.
Hello, mine works.
We're gonna search outbuildings, trailers, everything. Well, no, we have guns because those kids are here. Okay, just shut up. Am I really gonna get arrested right now?
You know how long it's gonna take? I had plans.
What type of audiobooks do we listen to?
The serial killer ones.
The serial killer ones?
On the morning of March 12, 2022, 18-year-old Naomi Irian suddenly vanished from a Walmart parking lot in Fernley, Nevada, after a strange man pacing around the corner got into her car and drove away with her, with only a hazy CCTV video to rely on.
Get hooked up on everyday spending with Cash App offers.
One of the biggest challenges in our world is that everything's fractured, and you have a large tech stack of different software.
Race against time to try and identify the mystery man. When they do, nothing can prepare them for the truth behind Naomi's sudden disappearance. This is the exact moment Zulema Silas realized that the truth about what really happened to the missing Naomi Irian had been uncovered. The following footage has never been seen before.
Do you need a minute? There's some Kleenex for you.
Well, I am sorry. It is really difficult to be hearing all the stuff that they're saying about you, everything that I am remembering about you.
Put your hands behind your back.
Oh, God, I can't. I got left shoulder.
As best you can.
On the morning of March 13, 2022, the Lyon County Sheriff's Office receives a distressing call from Casey Valley. He informs them that his 18-year-old sister, Naomi Irian, hasn't returned home since she headed to work the day before. He explains that he tried calling her multiple times but couldn't get through. He also checked, and there's been no activity on her bank account. In an exclusive interview with EWU, Casey Valley explains the incident.
And so she would typically show up at the Walmart parking lot here in Fernley at about 5 in the morning. The bus picked up around 5:15, between 5:15 and 5:20, I believe. She would sit there for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. and she would just scroll on her phone for a little while. And as far as I know, at that point, she went to work.
Casey went to bed before he saw if Naomi came home that Saturday night, which was typical for them.
So the next day I wake up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. She's not home, which is not unusual, right? Because we work so early. It did seem kind of weird to me because, I didn't really see a whole lot of evidence that she had been home that day. But that wasn't really super unusual either. I started reaching out to her at that point, but I wasn't hearing anything back.
After not hearing from Naomi all day, Casey decided to wait up on Sunday for her to come home again. But when she didn't, he called his mom and Naomi's friends, hoping some had heard from her. No one had heard from her since before Friday.
And so I called the police to make I attempt to make a missing persons report. The dispatcher said that the deputy was going to come to my house and take the report in person. Rather than that happening, the deputy calls me 2 hours later. He calls me at about 11:30 at night. And I tell him what's going on. And he's like, listen, I'm not going to put out a missing persons report on this. 18-year-old, she's 18, she can do what she wants. You don't have really any evidence to show that anything happened, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, this isn't normal for her, because if she didn't come home today, then she probably wasn't even at work today. I don't know what happened. And she's not answering any of her friends or anything like that. And all of her Snapchats from everybody, she's Snapchat a lot. All her Snapchats from everybody were, not delivered and stuff like that. So it just seemed completely a red flag to anybody that knew her.
Yes! Now!
And this deputy refused to make a missing persons report.
Stunned and disheartened by the complete absence of assistance from the authorities, Casey takes it upon himself to find his younger sister.
Are you bullying Daddy? Are you bullying Daddy? He's so little. Oh my God, he's so little. Look at him. You can't bully him. No. No. You can't bully the baby. He's just a baby. He's just a baby. No. Anyways, no story. I have a 100-pound pit bull sitting on my lap, and this thing's licking my arm for some reason. And he's eating his arm.
The deputy kind of got in my head a little bit, kind of gaslit me a bit about, she's probably fine, blah, 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 all this stuff. My girlfriend at the time, Nikki, she and I were talking, and he had the idea of, well, we should just go to Walmart and see if they'll let us look at the security footage and just see if she even showed up to where funds. So that's what we did. And then went over there, we tracked down the security people who were following shoplifters out in the store and told them what the situation was, and they were pretty sympathetic. So they brought us into their little security shack. It took us like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to just find the right footage, the right angle where she normally parked.
What he sees in this surveillance footage from Walmart makes his blood run cold. Casey knew where Naomi parked because he often saw her car in the same spot whenever he would go to Walmart.
Video quality wasn't great, but I could recognize her car. She was driving a 1992 Mercury Sable. There's not a whole lot of those left on the road these days, but it's pretty distinctive even in a grainy video. I was like, and then the time matched up with when I thought that she would be showing up, and I saw the car pull in there. And we're watching this at like 4 or 5x speed. So we watched the car pull in. I was like, oh, that's her car, almost for sure. And before we get the video stopped in order to slow it down, the car leaves again. And I'm like, what the heck?
At 5:09 a.m. on March 12, 2022, Naomi pulls over in the Walmart parking lot and waits inside her car. A few moments later, a strange man appears on the other side of the lot. He stares at her car for a few minutes. Soon he begins to walk towards the vehicle and reaches the driver's side. Almost in an instant, he slips into the driver's seat and drives out of the parking lot. Disturbingly, Naomi doesn't get out of the vehicle at any point in the footage. Utterly consumed by panic, Casey immediately calls the sheriff's office once again and informs them about the surveillance footage.
At that point, I call the dispatcher again, and I tell them that I have, potential evidence of kidnapping of my sister, and they send the same deputy that I had talked to the night before on the phone. And he shows up about 20 minutes later, and at this point we have some more video identified, and we have video of the guy standing there looking out from the sidewalk and circling around and going into her car. The police officer sits there and looks at it, and he says, I don't know, this looks like a drug deal to me. I was like, my sister did not do drugs, and he was just trying to cover his own ass, right? Because he didn't take my report the night before. Basically, he tells me, well, I'm not going to file a missing persons report right now still, but we'll put out a bolo and be on the lookout for her car. I was like, okay, I'm not really happy with that, but if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do.
Despite finding compelling evidence that proves his sister is in grave danger, Casey's repeated pleas for help are not taken seriously, leaving him in absolute despair and isolation.
Basically, I felt so alone, I felt so isolated. I felt like kind of betrayed by the sheriff's department. I felt very scared about what happened to my sister, and that I just really couldn't process what was going on at all.
On the
Will instantaneous make me orange? Not with Jeremy's Nacroload.
Personal injury, call Stokes Stimley. 3.
On the other hand, Naomi's and Casey's parents, who were in Africa at the time, struggled to cope with the news. In an exclusive interview with EWU, Naomi's mother, Diana Arian, shares how they tried their best to help Casey find Naomi.
Early Monday morning, before even it was light, my husband came upstairs because he was getting ready to go to work. My husband came upstairs in tears, and he said that Naomi had been kidnapped. And immediately I was like, what? What are you talking, what? And he said, Casey just called. He saw on a surveillance video someone take Naomi in her car. And then we were holding each other, and we were crying, and we were asking each other, what do we do? What do we do? Because we're in Africa. We're halfway around the world. And one of my husband's coworkers, one of our friends, is an FBI agent, and my immediate instinct was to call him. So that's what I did. I immediately got on the phone and called our friend, and I was not in a state I couldn't really speak, so I handed the phone to my husband.
Naomi and Casey's father went to the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa, where he was working at the time and was able to get an emergency flight to the United States that day. As Casey's father flies into the country, a conversation with the FBI reaped some positive results, as they seem to be taking the case quite seriously.
So the next day, I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just, and I have like a spotlight, and I'm just driving all the roads out in the desert, finger firmly. I'm just looking for any trace of her car. And about 9:30 in the morning, I get a call from Lyon County Sheriff's Department, a detective. He assured me that they're taking the matter very seriously. The missing persons report has been filed at this point, and they have every spare person on the force out looking for my sister's car.
2 days after Naomi went missing, the investigators finally take up the case in earnest. They begin with the video Casey found at Walmart. After carefully examining the surveillance footage multiple times, a triangulation and recreation method is used to determine that the person getting into the car with Naomi is between 6 and 6 feet 3 inches in height. They also identified that the suspect was wearing a pair of blue jeans, a light-colored hooded sweatshirt, and a face mask that morning. However, since he stood on the other side of the camera, they're unable to see his face or many other details. Naomi's phone number is run through the police database, but there aren't any location pings as it had been turned off. With only one hazy CCTV video footage and a suspect they're unable to identify, the investigators begin by running a thorough background check into Naomi Arian's life. Casey assists by sharing everything about Naomi and his family. Including Naomi, he has 6 siblings who moved to the United States only a year ago after living in sheltered communities in Russia, Germany, and South Africa as a result of their father's job with the State Department.
So she kind of just wanted to come over here and get a feel for what it was really like to be in America and what it was like to be an adult.
I was gonna move out, but then my brother was like, oh, what if you just pay me and like rent out the rooms in the house and then I can live here? Whoa. And I'm like, oh, that actually sounds pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. And I would get to stay here. It's a place where I'm comfortable, a neighborhood that I know, easy to get to my work, you know? It's a pretty good deal. It'll be interesting.
You know, kind of get away from the parents, have a little bit of freedom. And the first thing she did when, before she even really got here, actually, was get a job. And she started working for Panasonic.
To find out more, the investigators dispatched some officers to mark out her regular work route. They examined the surveillance recordings from various stores along the route, hoping to identify any peculiar incidents. Although they observed no apparent suspicious behavior, they make a significant discovery while reviewing the footage from a gas station where Naomi had stopped by to purchase snacks on her way to work. In the footage, she's seen wearing a gray sweater, paired with a blue Panasonic t-shirt and gray joggers. The officers take a screenshot of Naomi from the store and submit it to the investigators. This picture potentially marks the last time she was seen before the kidnapping. The investigators release Naomi's details with the picture to the media and request everyone to be on the lookout for the missing 18-year-old. As word of Naomi's kidnapping spreads, Casey sets up several search parties to help find her, and the community in Fernley steps up to assist the family.
The ladies in the local area in my son's neighborhood established a meal train. So we had meals made for us. So our job was to find her, and that was our full-time job. And my husband was out there with the FBI every day, and my son was out there searching the desert every day. You know, we didn't stop.
Despite releasing Naomi's picture and details, the investigators failed to discover any substantial leads. That is, until they combed through the devices she used. Here they find the first hint of a lead. Naomi went on a date with an unknown man a day before she vanished. Naomi had told Casey that she'd visited a thrift store with the man and everything seemed normal. But maybe it hadn't been as innocuous as she thought. Investigators also find out that Naomi had previously complained about being harassed at work. Managers from Naomi's workplace state that they knew about her allegations and had resolved the matter internally. Eventually, it's concluded that this line of inquiry is another dead end. It's around this point that the Lyon County detectives drop a bombshell.
He approached anyone? So I went up there just to make sure nobody was in it, and that's it.
Did you see directions?
No, so I did walk around it just to look at all angles, make sure nobody was in, like tucked in or anything.
But I was like just driving all over looking for it, and as I was getting off here, I saw it sitting there.
They found Naomi's car abandoned in a dirt lot near a paint manufacturing company, just half a mile away from the place of her kidnapping. While this was a huge discovery, there was still no sign of Naomi or her abductor. Still, hope is not lost, as the area where Naomi's car was found had several stores with CCTV. The detectives request surveillance footage from all nearby businesses and begin to review hours of footage from the day of Naomi's kidnapping. They soon find that some of the surveillance had actually captured a spine-chilling incident from the afternoon following Naomi's kidnapping. Naomi's car can be seen on the road nearby and later parked in the dirt lot at 3:30 p.m., 10 hours after her kidnapping. An unknown suspect gets out of Naomi's car and walks on the road. A short time later, at 4:12 p.m., a gray, bluish truck drives by the same road and parks close to Naomi's car. The driver gets out, goes back to Naomi's car, and shifts it to another spot in the dirt lot. Then the driver leaves the car, gets back in his truck, and drives away. Investigators are still unable to identify the unknown driver at that distance. And even more concerning is that they don't see Naomi anywhere in the footage. Perhaps he'd moved her to another location by then. There's also another possibility. Is this man the same person as the one they saw in the morning, or were more people involved? Screenshots of the suspect's truck are released to the media, along with a plea asking the community to keep an eye out. What could be seen in the footage, though, helped to identify the truck as potentially being manufactured by Chevrolet. With little else to go on, the investigators visit multiple Chevrolet dealerships in the area to learn more about the vehicle. Every Chevrolet dealership identifies the vehicle as a 2020 to 2022 Chevrolet High Country 2500 or 3500 model, with possible color variations in either a metallic blue or metallic gray. The Nevada Department of Motor Vehicles then sent a list of the same make and model of the vehicles that are in western Nevada. Though at first disheartened to see the list contains hundreds of trucks, an analysis team soon eliminate vehicles that don't match the footage. As the list of the trucks grows shorter, the investigators start verifying where the license plate numbers are registered. One of these addresses piques the investigating team's interest. As compared to the other addresses, it looks run down, leaving the investigators to wonder how someone from the residence could afford a $60,000 to $80,000 vehicle. They soon find out that the truck is registered to Troy Driver, and a search of his name through police databases reveals a daunting array of information. Troy Driver had a substantial criminal history that dates back to 1994. It started with animal cruelty at age 14 and turned into a 15-year jail time for assault, burglary, and armed robbery in his later years. He was also a suspect in an assault case out of Elko County in Nevada. Moreover, his height aligned with the potential range of the suspect's height in Naomi's kidnapping case. Based on his criminal history and the truck, Troy Driver immediately becomes a person of interest in the case. He lives with his girlfriend Zulema Silas and her children, and works at a mining company. Checking his girlfriend's Facebook, they find pictures of Troy, including one of him wearing a pair of brown hiking shoes that look similar to what the suspect wore in the Walmart parking lot footage. With no other leads, investigators strategically place patrol officers near Troy Driver's residence to keep a close watch on him. The next step is acquiring a warrant to inspect Troy's phone records to determine his location on the day of Naomi's kidnapping. Troy Driver possessed two phones, one for work and the other for his office, and an astonishing revelation emerges. The location data for both phones indicated that he was nowhere near Naomi. In fact, he'd remained at home throughout the day. However, undeterred by this setback, the detectives explore a different angle by reviewing the activities on both devices. Their suspicions are confirmed when the report reveals concerning evidence. Despite the location data suggesting Troy's presence at home, there was a suspicious absence of any activity on either phone. This was inconsistent with how Troy normally uses his phones. All of this was still fairly circumstantial. There was no clear link between Troy Driver and Naomi Urian, but the pressure was on to find Naomi. While the focus was on Troy, another breakthrough emerges from the surveillance footage. The same truck seen near Naomi's car is spotted on the highway and on the opposite side of the Walmart parking lot on the day of Naomi's abduction. The truck owner had been parked in the dirt area of the Walmart parking lot at 4:22 a.m. that morning. But this isn't the most chilling part. Not only were they there before Naomi arrived, the person could be seen pacing around as if waiting for something, as if expecting Naomi's arrival. Since investigators already knew where this person had left Naomi's car on the afternoon of her abduction, they then established a route from that location to Walmart's dirt lot, where the individual had parked their truck. Footage showed them walking back to their
Alright,
truck.
I'm done.
And not only that, when the suspect strolled from Naomi's vehicle to the truck, he inadvertently passed right in front of the CCTV camera. The sight sent shivers down the spines of the entire investigating team. It was Troy Driver. On March 25th, a full 13 days after Naomi's kidnapping, the investigators take Troy Driver into custody.
And I'm gonna bye guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, eBay.
God bless you all. Bye bye.
Just like that, I was hurt in a car wreck.